Hope y'all are all doing well. We have got Unit 4 in the house. As Hello Gun Nation, not going to make it tonight. Have a great chat, Big J. Yeah, you too, man. I appreciate you checking in. Unit 4 has to leave us a voicemail. Yeah. Hello, Pranic. How are you doing, man? We got 4 people on, 5 thumbs up. So that's good. And cheers, everyone. Little Evan Williams, Bottle and Bond. Hope y'all are doing well. I've been asked a bunch of questions, so we're going to get into it about some items. Hello, Dexter. How are you? Rich is in the house. Scott's in the house. All the good old crews jumping in. Man, that's actually a pretty good drink tonight. And I'll tell you, that Evan Williams Bottle and Bond is like so inexpensive, but it's so good. I mean, it's like 27 bucks for a big old monster bottle. So it's not expensive if anybody's interested. Hello, Lynn Holt. A buddy of mine bought it and said, "Man, you need to try this." I had never tried it. And it's really good and very inexpensive, smooth to drink, neat if you want, or you can use it as a mixer because it's so cheap. Hello, Lee. How are you? Hope you were doing well. Man, I've had a bunch of questions about like the Gen 6, Glock, the new Olight. I mean, I've had a bunch of questions asked, and if y'all have any questions, please feel free to chime in. I always like got y'all are always like interacting with y'all and answering questions or even getting your opinions on things, and then we can discuss it. So fire anything off that y'all are in the mood for. This is one of my poncho hats. My wife bought me some poncho shirts for Christmas, and they were giving a bunch of free gifts. So I got me a poncho hat, or they threw it in the box. So I figured, oh, what the hell? I'll wear me an orange and kind of, I guess, OD green or brown. Navy Vet is in the house. How are you, sir? But I've been asked about the Gen 6 Glock, if I'm going to get one, and what do I think about it, and all that other stuff. And I think we've already talked about this, but I was asked more. Um, I mean, if you're not Glock invested, I think it's a great gun. I think a lot of people are going to like it, the way that it's set up with the palm swells, the bigger magwell, the serrations on the slide. I don't know about the new optics setup. I've heard mixed reviews from people I know that own them, that I trust. They said it's kind of a little loose, and then you got to snug the screws in, but and you got those gaps on the front and the back. So I don't know on that. And it's still coming with plastic sights. But again, you can change those for suppressor sights. It is cool. And Sugar Bar showed us, if you haven't checked out his video, the Ramjet Gen 5 works with it if you want to put a Ramjet on it. But I mean, I think it's a good option for people to have, if they're interested in something like that. I've got tons of Glock mags. I've got Glocks, PCCs that take Glock mags. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to run out and buy one. If I happen to bump into one for a really good price, I might pick it up. It would have to be the 45, though. That's the one that I would like to have, because that's what I have as a 19X, and I really like it. Dexter said, "I think that new Olight red dot that has rear iron sights could be something others may pick up on." They're not the first to do those little rear sights. The pop-up, there was, if I remember right, there was an older sight mark that had like the little pop-up sights. But they weren't retractable. They would fold down and pop up. You could just take them and pop them up. But it was like a little, whatever that little cheap one is. I think it's called a Night or Sight Mark. That's what it was, Sight Mark. And it had kind of like a little flip up sights, kind of like, a regular AR flip up sight. And it had one, it was a real old one, and that little dot came with like multicolors, a blue, red, and a green or something all in one. So, but to me, I'm just picking specs out of fly crap. Something that's like that you have to push a button to make them pop up, that seems like a failure point to me. I don't know why they just didn't do like what Hollow Sun and just kind of build them in there. so they're not really a snag point, and then also they don't have the potential to not work, because if that little button didn't work, you can't just grab it and pull it up. That's just my opinion. What's up, JJ? How are you? He said, here in Virginia, the government is going to put a $500 tax stamp on suppressors. I saw that. Guns and Gear did a deal on that, and he's saying, it could go to other states. I've been told here in Texas it won't happen. Abbott won't let it go through, but I know other states, especially blue states, that shit's going to fly. So they're going to vote on it, probably do it. Scott says, with the gaps in the optic, that's putting all the force on the screws. Not good. Yeah, and they've got those little posts that are supposed to absorb impact, but they're polymer, and polymer can be strong. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? They're trying to pass the bill right now. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Hello, Redbird. How are you? Hope you had a good Christmas and everybody's having a good New Year too. I wish I lived in Texas. Well, come on down, JJ. But yeah, it's like I said, he's just here they're just saying they're not going to do that. We've got the Texas 2A law, where the cops will not assist the ATF in any way, which is good. He's passed several 2A bills here in Texas, so I just don't ever see that happening here. I don't want to say ever, but hopefully that won't happen. What's up, Armsman? How are you? Ready for the 20th Gen 6 with O-Light optic and O-Light weapon light? Going to be put Streamlight and Holosun out of business. Yeah, that's one of the other things I was going to talk about. I've been asked about the O-Light, the new O-Light, which is kind of like the TLR7. It's got the two flood, and then the one beam. It's got a switch on the side where you go between like the two beams, and then the one bright one you can switch back and forth, and then it's charged by the bottom of it. It's got the rechargeable battery built in. You cannot remove it. And I've been asked what I thought about it. In my opinion, this is my opinion. I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but I don't want one with a self-contained battery where I'm going to carry around a charging cord. I mean, just think about it. If you did like a night class where you're shooting with your EDC gun with your light on it, it's probably going to poop out on you over a period of time throughout the class. What are you going to do? Stop, take it off, go charge it? You can't just pop the cover off, throw a battery in it, and get back in it. I mean, that's not for me. Even if you could put like CR123 rechargeable batteries in the front, I mean, that seems easy. And then also, while you're charging it, you pull the gun out of the holster, you charge it, you've just got a live gun sitting there. So if you've got children or, you just don't, I mean, and are you going to take the light off to charge it and then put your gun back in a holster in the safe? I mean, it just seems kind of jicky to me. And I'm not knocking on it if anybody likes it. I'm really not, I promise. It's just, and everybody, I always say, everybody can get what they want to get. Or that's all know me. But I really, I don't mind rechargeable batteries that go in the unit. Like you charge the battery and then put it in there. Because some of those are really, really good. But you can, have a bunch of them with you and just pop them in when you need it. But when they're self-contained, nah, not for me. At least till you meet the Texas heat. Let's see here. Let me catch back up. Make it a SIG. Armsman and BJ will love it forever. No, y'all know I don't do SIGs. I've seen exactly 2 O sights, and both were new out of the box, and both were broken in different ways. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, whatever anybody wants to use, they can use. I believe in saving up, getting one that could last, for a long time. And I'm not saying they won't. It's just not for me. And if you like them, I'm not hating on you. But the way I look at it is, even the ones, especially with the multi-fuel, like Streamlight makes, you can run the rechargeables for maximum power, or you can pop them out and you can pop a CR123 in there and it still gives you less lumens and less candela, but the damn thing will still work. But all this, built-in rechargeable shit, what are you gonna do about two lights and change them out at a class or something? Not into that. Let's see here. Arms when I prefer removable, rechargeable batteries like Streamlight and Surefire does. Yep, me too. JJ says I'll be right back. I have to feed my cat. There you go. Feed that cat. I'll stick with my X300 Turbo. Yeah, I mean, the new Streamlights that they've put out with, I mean, I've done tests on them versus my X300 Turbo, and I'll never get rid of my X300 Ultra or both two Ultras. I've got two Ultras and one Turbo, and I'm not going to get rid of them. I mean, they're great lights, but Streamlight has surpassed the X300 already, and I'm hoping that Surefire comes out with even. And everybody's like, well, how much light do you need? I want to freaking pull out the sun if I need to. And that's the thing about that new O-Light. It's got the little switch on the side. Why don't you just push the button and all of them light up? I mean, and that's probably going to drain the shit out of the battery even quicker. But, I'm like, why are you going to, on your weapon light, you're going to push the button, you're going to hold down, flip the switch. Oh, am I on the beam? Oh, let me look. Let me muzzle myself. I'm just like, seems jicky to me. Hello, Alderman. How are you, buddy? My favorite go-to light currently is the TLR7 HLX. Hard to beat. Yeah, that's a great small light. 1,000 lumens. I mean, that little sucker is a fire stick for a small light. Very, very bright. That is my favorite go-to small light too. And you're seeing now Olight. They had that Jicky one that moved back and forth. That thing was a piece of shit. I broke one of them. And now they've got this one that still kind of has that little bit of adjustment. I'm not saying it's going to break. I don't know. It looks like, from the videos, I haven't seen one in person, but just from a couple of videos I watched, and I guess last night was their release day that they could talk about it. Last night, I guess 7 o'clock, everybody started dumping videos. But I saw these people that haven't truly tested that O-Light, that have not even tested it. They opened it up out of the box and they're like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. It blows away Streamlight and Surefire and blah, blah. And I'm like, you haven't even tested the damn thing. I mean, I'm not saying everybody did that, but there were a couple that did it. Oh, I think it's great. It's going to be awesome. And I'm like, just because you got a free piece of shit, all of a sudden it's great and you haven't even tested it yet. I mean, I'll open stuff and say, hey, I just got this, haven't tested it, but so far, it looks pretty good. The construction looks good, blah, blah, blah. And I can respect people that say that, but the people that are just like, oh, it's going to blow Streamlight out of the game. Hell no, it's not. You're going to have more people, holster manufacturers, support Streamlight, Surefire, those two companies way over any of these other companies. So, what's up, Indie Irish? Shills. Yeah, I'm sure some people are. Not everybody. I mean, I get it, but just because you get something free doesn't mean it's it's great. And some of these were really small channels, and I get it, but I'm just like, man, that's why I'm saying what I say, what other people say, take it with a grain of salt. It's not the Bible. So don't think of it that way. What's up, Adrian? How are you, man? I just have a hard time with people that haven't tested Streamlight, Surefire. Even this one, the Cloud Defensive. I spent my own money on this and it had some problems, so I'm not making it up. So I found that out, the first time I just did the box opening. I said, hey, here's the light, here's what it looks like. And then I came back on a live and I'm like, hey, I took it apart and here's some issues I found with it right off the bat. They weren't major issues and it still does work perfectly. And it's plenty bright. I mean, plenty bright. but it's expensive. And the Surefire, what is it, I can't remember all the numbers, but HLP or HPX or something, that's like a turbo model. And I honestly think it beats this, but this has a different warmness. And I did test them. I forgot to say this. I did test it with window tint on my limo tent, or maybe I said this. I have limo tent on the back of my truck, and I tested it, and both of them pierced right through it. So, you know, not saying it's a bad light. It's just I don't know. That's why it's still sitting here on my desk, because I'm just like I don't know yet. Not saying I won't put it on anything. I'm just not going to say yes, I believe in it yet. Da, 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 da. Rich is asking, what's your wildest, loudest holster color pattern? Probably what he's done for me. I always like the crazy ones. So that's it for the Glock 6 or Glock Gen 6. I mean, I think it's a good option. I think a lot of people will like it. They're definitely late to the party. You know, that's the thing. I will still take, for example, the P10C, optic ready. P10C has metal sights, has serrations, really good grip, aggressive, ergonomic. It has a cold forged hammer barrel. I mean, it has all the shit that the Glock Gen 6 does, and it's way cheaper. So it just doesn't come with plates. So you have to buy your optic plate of whichever one you're going to put on there. But, that's a gun that's, like I've said many, many times, it's slept on. P10C is an incredible gun. JJ says, I love my Streamlight HL teal X and Cody color. I have it on my P10C. Yeah. Dexter says, does the new Smith & Wesson 10mm ported make sense, or just more jumping on the ported run game? I think it would have a benefit. I mean, it's going to cut down your recoil, because here's what you're looking at. And a lot of people don't look at this, and I always have said this, and I've done it on the videos if you go way back. I've tested, excuse me, I've tested comp guns against regular guns. My P10C, I've got one that's comped, and then I've got one that's non-comped. And during follow-up shots, it's much quicker on target. So if that takes a little bit of the bite out of there for you, or quicker follow-up shots, I look at it as a positive. And everybody's like, oh, if you're real close to it, it's going to burn your face, or it's going to throw slag out, and it's going to do this, and it's going to do that. If I'm laying down some fire on somebody, that's the last thing I'm worried about. I mean, honestly. So I don't really think it comes into play. I have a lot of comp guns. I have ported guns. I have plain guns. I like them all. But for quicker follow-up shots on target, comped and ported are definitely faster. Now, are you going to lose some velocity on your ported guns? Yes. Comped, if it's comped at the end, you're still getting full velocity, but it's cutting the edge off of it. So, Lynn Holt says, he says, I like the frame texture, and the trigger is not better than previous guns. I had an immediate reaction and broke out in hives when the polymer touched my hands. Yeah. Yeah, some of us are getting allergic to polymer, that's for sure. Let's see here. I'll pass on the rainbows. Don't want anybody getting the wrong idea. There you go. The Armsman does make great holsters. Matter of fact, I've been rocking one all week. I've been carrying the Glock 19X this week in the Armsman holster with the Streamlight or TLR7 HLX. Great setup. Indy Irish says, anyone on here purchased a Zero Tech pistol optic? Looking for a direct mount for my Glock 43X MOS. No, I've seen them just online, but I have not ever tried one, so I personally don't know. And I don't want to talk out of my butt because I don't know. I do not have the Ruger RXM, Mateo. Do not have it. Thought about grabbing one, but I'm just like, I'm kind of polymered out, just being honest with you. I have so many polymer guns. Pop Doctor is in the house. How are you, brother man? Also, remember there's some great content creators on here, like Pop Doctor and some other people who have channels, so please go over and check them out. Rich B says, what pattern do you recommend for red and what shade of red? Oh, I guess he's talking about holsters. Troy says, which one, FN 509 MRD size or Springfield Echelon 4.0C? I don't have either one of those. I've got the 509 full size, and I like it. And then they've got the new 309. That's more of a budget friendly. It's not ambidextrous. It takes polymer mags versus metal mags. That's the new 309. So I don't really know anything on that gun. But I mean, I like the 509. It shoots great. I have not shot the Echelon 4.0, so I really don't know. But I know a lot of people like the Echelon, and I've put my hands on it. I just haven't shot it yet, so I don't know. So, and you can't be running red. You got to run orange, man. You got to get the orange holsters. I was joking with Armsman. I talked to him on the phone, and I told him I was taking a drink out of my orange Stanley. I don't think he believed me, but I was. Armsman says, I think the Echelon is a great option. Big Jane is orange, man. I'm an orange. Like I said, I bleed orange. Orange is life. Love me some orange. If y'all only knew how much orange crap I have. Yes, and I love camo. You know, the OG camo, multicam. And I like black camo too, but the regular camo is probably my favorite as far as camo. But yeah, I definitely like the orange. Rich V says, we'll do getting used to optics now, all the budget ones. Which one do you personally like better? The one that I really will hang my hat on, because I have like, I probably have 19 of them, and I'm not being facetious. I have a lot of them. You'll notice when you go through the videos, is the Holosuns. And I have not had one Holosun, and I've been shooting them for 5 or 6 years now. I haven't had one Holosun take a crap. I've had 2 Delta Point Pros take a shit. I've had one Trijicon SRO take a shit. I've had some of the cheaper, you know, that they send me. I've had some of those take a shit. You know, flickering, refresh rate sucks. I have a couple of Primary Arms ones, some of their older ones. Refresh rate sucks. I've said it on videos. But Holosun, man, I've got the old Holosun that you have to unscrew the bottom with a specialty tool. I've got that specialty tool on one of my keychains. That's how long I've been shooting them, and all those damn things still work. And I've had those for like 6 years. So if it's going to be a go-to and you don't want to spend the big bucks, like on a Trijicon or something like that, I would definitely recommend Holosun. Yes, there are a bunch of other optics out there, but one that I would personally carry after I prove it out would be a Holosun. Let's see here. At least he knows what he likes and knows what he wants. Yep. I don't beat around the bush. All right, I gotta kick one out real quick. Sorry about that. What is your opinion on recent footage of Stephen Hawking's in a boxing match? Good Lord. Let's remove that one. catch back up here. Holosun's work. I've had multi 403, 503, riding on rifles, shotguns, multiple 507s, 508Ts, 507Ks, none have failed. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I put faith in them. After I test them out, if they're working good, refresh rate's good, after that, you just change the battery. And I've got video of this. I pushed one for 2.5 years. I think it was 2 years, 7 months. I have a date on it. I think it was 2 years, 7 months without replacing the battery, and it finally was getting a little dimmer. Little dimmer. It wasn't flashing, but it was a little dimmer. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Over 2.5 years, yeah, that's really good. Not that I would push them that far normally, but I was just testing it, and this one had backup sights, so I was good. Yeah, EPS. Yeah, EPS is a good one. I've got a couple of those. I really like them. Lynn Holt said, I've had to have 2 go back to Holosun. I wouldn't hold 0. Ooh. And the second one, the Shake Awake, wouldn't wake up. Works fine, but, yeah, well, that's not good. They were probably made during the cough season. With the Holosun, are they all basically priced the same from retailer to retailer? No, you can find them on sale, like PSA, Primary Arms. They run sales on them, like even one day flash sales and stuff like that. I would grab one. I've grabbed plenty during some of those flash sales. I've gotten some really good deals on EPSs during that. I know Armsman has too, because I've sent them to him and he's like, oh crap, that is a good deal. So I would look for something like that and then go there. Dexter says, I remember hearing the story about the Holosun solar working at an indoor range with no battery. Yeah, they will, but I'll tell you this too. When I run Holosuns, I do not run them on auto, okay? And I learned my lesson. I was at the indoor range that I shoot at, and it's kind of dim here, but it's light out there. And I would notice when I would put the gun out, the dot would like dim down, dim up, and I was like, what in the hell, is the battery bad? And because I always put them on manual, I don't have them on auto. And I guess I had bumped this one or was playing around with it or something. And it set the auto feature. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this? You know, I thought the battery was going dead. So I looked at it, I changed it to manual, and then bumped it up, and it never changed. But if you keep it on auto, when you go from dark to light, it'll kind of fluctuate weird. So I always keep mine on manual only. And I always set my dots to when my light is on. So I've got my flashlight on my gun, I'll turn the light on, adjust my dot accordingly so it doesn't wash, the light doesn't wash the dot out because it's too dim. And then that's the way I carry it all the time throughout the day. Armsman says I have 4 Vortexes, 2 enclosed and 2 Defenders, pretty decent. Also for the money, lifetime warranty. One went back and Vortex had it back to me in 5 days. Yeah. And I have heard some issues on those Vortexes. Not saying, you know, it is what it is, but Rich B says I still struggle keeping both eyes open using the optics. What do you say about teaching an old dog new tricks? Rich, this is the thing that helped me. And I've said it before, and I didn't think of this. Aaron Cowan mentioned it. When you're shooting, bring your gun up to where your nose is at the butt of your gun, like your striker plate, like on a Glock. That's where you want your nose to be. So when you bring the gun up, have it right there, and the window is always in your vision. And just force your eyes open, both of them. Like if you have to, just look like a deer in the headlights and shoot. And don't blink or anything. And then as you do it more, you'll just get used to it. But what's weird is now, if I shoot with one of these optics on a rifle, I still shoot these with both eyes open. And I do fine with them. Now, if you're looking down a tube of a scope with a little bit of shadow, that's different. I'll close one. But for the most part, I even shoot with scopes and everything with 2 eyes open. Because your brain will actually, you know, it really does work. your brain will take over and line everything up for you. Lynn Holt says they are good dots. I had a Gen 1 last for 5 years on the first battery. Yeah. I found brightest, brightest setting is for good outdoors. One down for brightness is good for indoors and night hollow suns. And night on hollow suns. Yep, and Armstrong's right. Dry firing with your optic does help a lot. Eyes open, yeah. I was just trying to exaggerate something so he could get an idea. Troy says, just want to say thank you for your content and honest reviews. I agree. I run my 507Cs manual mode, practice your draw, presentation with the red dot. Good reps, you won't have to fish for the dot. Yeah. And then when I picked up that Aaron Cowan tip about keeping the tip of your nose to the either the hammer of the hammer gun or your striker plate or any of that, I mean, that helped me get the gun up high. So also it wasn't turtling. Because you'll see in some of my old videos, I was turtling. And then after I got his tip, I was lifting the gun up higher. And it keeps your elbows out. So you actually shoot even better. And that little tip worked for me. So now when I catch myself doing this, I'm like, pull the damn gun up, you idiot. You know, and I yell at myself. So, but yeah, it'll definitely help you out quite a bit. Let's see here. But also, I was asked, which y'all probably know the answer. Well, I'll just ask it, see if y'all remember. What is my favorite caliber? I kind of have two in rifles or PDWs. What's my favorite caliber to use? 308. That's one of them, Dexter. You got the first one. What's the second one? Yep, 308. Redbird got it too. There's one more. 308. Everybody's guessing 308. Yeah, 308's one. Yep. JJ's saying 308. Yep. Indy Irish got it. 300 blackout. Yep. Pranic got it too. Pop Doctor. 50 AE. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm a big 30 caliber guy. Love 308. Love 300 blackout. Troy basically 7.62. Yeah, it's 30 cal. 30 super carry. No. But I had somebody ask me, you know, what's my favorite caliber? Um, you know, well, they said, what's your favorite caliber and why is it 6.5? That's the way they said it. And I like 6.5. Nothing against 6.5. But, you know, I'm an old school guy. I've got a lot of 308s set up for 308 and have a lot of ammo in 308. And I don't own a 6.5, but I have shot a lot of them. And I really like 6.5. But there's something about a 308, you know. And I'm not, like I've said before, I'm not going out to 1,000 yards all the time. I'm just not, you know. I want something that's a heavy hitter between 2 and 600 yards. That's what I want. So 308 is perfect for me. If I want to go longer, I can go longer with a 308. I'm just going to have to arc the shit out of it. So, you know, 6.5 is flatter. I know that. But, you know, why? For me. Yep, JJ saying 30-06. Yeah, I mean, that's a great round. Suppressed, I've been reading is good. Yeah, I mean, I've got suppressors. You know, I'm not saying they're bad or I've got to have them on everything. On 300 blackout, if you're shooting subs, it's amazing. If you're not a big sub shooter, suppressors still help. They take the crack out. Definitely makes it quieter. It's not a must. Like I've got guns where I've literally set them up with brakes This top one, or this second one here, it's got a Landtac Dragon on it. It's got a race trigger in it. I can shred with that. It is a 5.56, but I can shred with that thing, shoot it really, really fast, and it does not move. It doesn't move, but it's loud. It's very loud. That Landtac Dragon, not to me, but if somebody's standing beside me, that Landtac Dragon is crazy loud. I shot it one time this was way, way back when. I shot it at this 2-gun event, and I told the guy, the little, timer guy, I was like, it's going to be loud. Just get ready. So he just had regular ear pro on, and he stuck some foamies in and then put his ear pro on, and he's like, I'm glad you told me, because it was loud. But that thing is flat as shit. So if I'm wanting to just go shred and shoot something really, really fast, or like, I don't really do them anymore, but if I was going to do some kind of speed competition, that's the gun I'm taking. I'm not messing with the suppressor, because that thing is really, really fast. Yeah, and Scott saying 300 blackout is very niche for suppressors. Use otherwise 7.62x39. That's where I'll agree with you, Scott, but I'll also not disagree. But I will say, between a 7.62x39 and a 300 blackout, your ammo choices are much, much, much better on a 300 blackout. I've got 90 grain 300 blackout that will just smoke. It just flies. I've got 90 grain, 110 grain, 125 grain. I don't really run 150. I've got it, but 150 sucks. And then I've got 200, 220, and 230. So you just have so many ammo choices with 300 blackout, where you really don't with 7.62x39. 7.62x39 is an awesome round. So I'm not discrediting it. But I like the ammo versatility with a 300 blackout better. Plus, versus the AK platform, I like the AR, selector and everything better than an AK for me. I know a lot of AK guys love their AKs, and I'm not knocking them. But I love, having that, hey, I can run, 220, 110, whatever. I like the versatility of that. Indie Irish says I shoot 220 grain for 300 blackout suppressed. Yeah, and it's super quiet. I've got videos where it's literally, it's crazy quiet. Crazy quiet. And that's what I love about it. It's really like shooting a freaking 22, and there's no recoil. Prentice says 7.62x39 ain't cheap anymore either. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it is still cheaper than 300 blackout. I'll agree with Scott on that. But when I buy my 300 blackout, I buy cases and cases and cases at a time. So I got really, really good deals on it, because I bought it way back when, when I was telling everybody, hey, you might want to load up. I've got videos where I literally have thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of 300 blackout. And my preferred, really is kind of 124, or I think it's 125. My preferred is 125, because it's kind of a do-all for supers. And then for subs, I have a ton of 220. And that's probably the best. So I have a ton of 222, or 220 as well. And like I said, I love 7.62x39. Back in the day, I was shooting tons of 7.62x39. Hello, Chessboard. How are you, buddy? Hang on, I gotta launch somebody. Dexter saying the thing about 300 blackout is also the shorter barrel thing. That is true. And I enjoy shooting shorties. Not too short, because I got big old gorilla arms. They're long. Pop Doctor says, try standing next to someone with a break for a whole course. I made my friend get a suppressor afterwards. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I've been to the range. Well, y'all have seen videos. But I've been to the range where I shot the 12.5 300 or 308, and that thing's loud. Now with a suppressor, it's not bad. Um, and really, the 300 blackout is not bad, even unsuppressed. But that Lantac Dragon, it'll light you up. And I've got another one for my 308 if I want to run it, and it's like a long break, and it's really flat, but it's super loud. I mean, but that's what they're designed for. Keep the gun flat, but yeah, they're a barker. Matter of fact, when I shot that 12 and a half 308, I was shooting it in the range. Now I made sure nobody was there. Nobody was there. I shot it unsuppressed. You know, I had my hearing protection in, and I was thumping that thing, and people out on the sales floor came into the VIP range to see what the hell that was, because it's like boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's like a bomb. It's so freaking loud. Yep, pop. Yep, Dexter's exactly right. Not all things suppress well. Scott says, "Have you shot 5.45, Big J? I prefer it over 5.56. I have shot it. I have not owned one, Scott, but I have shot it, and it's cool. It's a cool round, but I have not owned one personally to do like a lot of testing on it, you know, and a lot of playing around with it. I think I shot 2 mags out of a buddy of mine's way back in the day, and it was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I personally haven't owned one. Pop Doctor says Dex is suppressed 5.56 is way better than an unsuppressed with a freaking tank break. Yeah, no, it's way quieter. I will agree with Pop Doctor. Oh, there you go. Scott says he's sitting on 5,000 rounds of it. Yeah. Pranic says that could pay your house off. Yeah. But yes, I really enjoy 308, 300 blackout. You know, and I like 5.56. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's boring to me. Now, granted, if it was your SHTF gun, I totally get it. You can go distance with it. You can carry a lot of ammo because it's lighter weight and things like that. Um, you know, so, and of course, it's all about, you know, hits on target to the shutoff valve. So I totally get that too. But when I talk about stuff, I'm talking about if it was in an urban environment, I had to go through car doors, center blocks. You know where I'm going with this. Doors. I'd much rather have a 308 than a 5.56. That's why I prefer 308 or even 300 blackout. And 300 blackout, you know, it's not the most accurate thing in the world. Everybody thinks 300 blackout's like hole and hole. I mean, even with a great barrel, and I've got some good barrels, but even with a great barrel, it's never hole in hole. That AR up there, that Faxon is super accurate. It's a hole in hole. I think it's like a 1 MOA rifle, 1.5 MOA at 100 yards. That 308 up there is a Lancer. It's super accurate. All these guns are way more accurate than me. I'm not a precision guru. You know, I never claimed to be. You know, all these guns could outshoot me. So I'm not that guy. Wished I was, but I'm not. Oh yeah, totally agree. The Irish 5.56 is very good training ammo. Cheap to reload. I don't reload, but I definitely think everybody should have a 5.56 for sure. Rich says with the suppressor tax coming probably July 1st, I guess it's time for me to get my first suppressor, maybe my second, third. Yeah, I would get them. Hell yeah. Especially if you're not planning on moving or anything, I would definitely get them, Rich. Yep. Rich B says, what is a good 22 suppressor that works on 22 mag and 5.7 for my first one? Okay, Rich, I'm going to say this. I've tested a lot of 22 suppressors. There's one thing I hate about the suppressor, but I gotta say, it's super freaking quiet. You can shoot 22 LR, 22 mag, and 5.7 through it. And it's the Dead Air Mask. It's a great suppressor. It's really quiet. You know, it will get fouled up, so you need to clean it, but that's any 22 suppressor. But I hate when you screw it on and you shoot it a lot and you go to take it off. They didn't do reverse thread, so when you go to take it off, sometimes the body will come off. Not a big deal. And then you'll just have to take it off and stick it back together. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm just like, why didn't you do reverse threads? And they didn't, but whatever. But it is a really great suppressor. It's really quiet. Um, and I've only tested like 6 of them, but I've got buddies I got a buddy who has he's got tons of them, but he doesn't have the mask. And so I did a little test with the ones that he has, and I can't name them all. So please don't ask me to. I know one of them was a Sparrow, I think, and it was kind of loud. But anyway, I did that little test with his on the same gun with the same ammo, and the mask was the quietest. And it's all about tone to your ear. But he agreed, and another guy was with us, so there was 3 of us, and we all agreed the mask was the quietest. Let's see here. So that's what I would pick, even though I don't like that not having reverse threads. Scott says, I picked up a 300 blackout upper from PSA. They had the very cheap 8-inch barrel. Yeah. And that is another good thing, and a lot of people don't think about this. If you've got a 5.56, you can have a 308, or excuse me, a 300 blackout with just an upper change. 2 pins, and you're using the same BCG, same mags. I mean, you just need different ammo. So it's a cheap way to have 2 guns in one. If you don't want another serial number, But if you've got a 16-inch, 5.56, then you got to get a 16-inch 300 blackout, and I don't think you need a 16-inch. That's just my opinion. JJ says, yeah, me and my Uncle Chris built my PSA 300 blackout. It's great for the price point. Yeah. And Dexter says, just label your mags. Yeah, what I do on mine is on my 300 blackout, because if you label them, you can't see them in the dark, So what I do on all of my 300 mags, or 300 blackout mags, is I got a tire inner tube, a bicycle tire inner tube from Walmart, cost me $3. And I have a video where I'm doing this. I'm just sitting here watching TV, and I'm cutting little Ranger bands, just real small. Well, they're about that wide, and I'm cutting them out of the inner tube. I probably cut a freaking 1,000 of them, and I still had inner tube left. And I actually put them around the bottom of the mag, so in the dark, I can just feel the rubber on it. And if it's rubber, it's a 300 blackout mag. If I feel the rubber on it. Never had an issue. Done it that way forever. And just kind of gives you a visual if it's in the dark, and you always know which one it is. So in my truck, I've got a 5.56 mag and a 300 blackout mag. So I know exactly which one to grab, even if I'm driving and I've got to reach in and grab something, I know which one it is. So that's what I do, but people can do what they want to do. Yeah, I see what you're saying about the not fitting in there. And he's exactly right. Pop Doctor's right. 5.56 won't chamber in a 300 blackout chamber, but the reverse isn't true. And he's right. So you definitely don't want that to happen. That would not be a good day. Also, I wanted to bring this up because I saw that, I don't know if y'all saw it, but PSA had an update today about their new 2011. So it's the Dagger 2011 or whatever. It will have an exterior extractor. It will come with the USA mag, or the US made mags. And they're hoping to release it this first quarter. So looks like a nice 2011. It's a 5-inch barrel. I wish they were doing a Commander first, but I get it. It will be RMR compatible, and I think it's going to have 2 different plates. So, and I don't know if they both come with the gun or you have to pick one. I don't know that. And I don't know the price point, but they said they should have them first quarter this year. So maybe they'll know more at SHOT Show, but anybody, hopefully it will be a decent 2011 and priced decently, but that could be an option. And it's got a really nice mag. It's got the, the MKJ Designs grip, which is a really nice grip. So I think that's what it's called, MJ Design or MK Design or whatever. But it's the one that Kimber used. and they make really good mag or grips. So Checkmate, yeah, it's coming with a Checkmate. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is called the Saber 11 Indie Irish. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. But I saw that update and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, but what they're saying, I think, is you can go from a small to a medium to a large extension. Because I run the medium triggers. I can't run a short trigger. Mine are mediums, and I think I've got a couple of longs. I do have one short, but I really have to crimp my finger. I think it's just the extension of the trigger face. So you can put like a pad on it to make it longer if you need to reach. So, uh, NJD grips, is that what it's called? Okay. But it looks pretty cool. And I felt the Kimber one that company made, and I thought it was a nice grip. So I don't know what the price point's going to be. Hopefully, it's going to be very reasonable, and hopefully they'll run well. I mean, all their stuff has a lifetime warranty, but they might have some growing pains right out of the box. I don't know that, but hopefully, that would be something some people could get and maybe enjoy. Maybe it'll work great. So we got 23 people on, 18 thumbs up. I appreciate that. So if y'all hadn't hit the thumbs up, if you would, I appreciate it. Also, I've had some people, kind of asking me, like, man, all I see is live chats. Are you not doing videos anymore? Yeah, I've just kind of slacked off on them, just being honest with you, because I want to get the garage finalized. And honestly, I've just been busy with work too. And I've been procrastinating a little bit. Not burnout, but just taking a little break from pumping out a bunch of videos. I'll have more coming probably pretty soon, but I want to get the garage set up so I can start doing some tool reviews, things like that. Maybe when I do a tool review, I'll kind of throw in, hey, this was the carry for the day. If y'all want to watch, some tool people or, oh my gosh, you showed a gun. But they'll deal with it. I don't care. I'll do what I want. But and then next week I've got a big sales meeting. So don't know if I will do Wednesday next week's chat. I'm just kind of giving you a forewarning. I'm going to try, but I'll be with all my guys. We're going to do dinners and evening activities. Probably that. So I'm just forewarning everybody. Next Wednesday might not happen, but I'm going to try. So, exactly, a small part you can't lose. I don't know what that means. Guns are tools. Yeah, no, I get it. But some people, I came here to see a tool, not a gun. Well, guns are tools. And plus, I do what I want. So, I don't really let people tell me what to do. But I understand, some of the tool reviews are family friendly, where they're like, you showed a gun, my kid was watching, whatever. So, if you get upset about that and you don't want to subscribe, hey, do you. I don't care, but, I like to show what I want to show, what I want to do. I'm just being myself. Yeah, and educating them. And I get it. And that's why I want to say, hey, oh, there it is. Yep, Joseph's correct. It's MJD Solutions. That's correct. I was drawing a blank for a second. I thought it was MJ something. But yeah, they look like really nice grips that they're putting on that Saber 2011. But so yeah, I've just I've got to get that garage finished. Load the toolbox. Oh my God, I hate that. And Pranic will agree with me, I'm sure. But it is just a pain in the ass. Hey, there's Chris. What's up, man? Chris from the 740. He's got a good channel too. Y'all go check him out. Go over and show him some love. He's doing a bunch of reviews here lately. He's reviewing everything. I mean, good stuff. So y'all go check it out. And I'm sorry, Chris. I've listened to your videos while I'm driving, but I haven't been able to comment because I'm driving. So I try to go through everybody's stuff at least to listen to it and give you a thumbs up. Oh, and I don't know if y'all have seen this, and I've tried to do it on some people. Have y'all seen the new tech or the new talk So you can go on when you want to do a reply, like somebody leaves you a comment, you can hold it down and say, hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate you checking out my video. Have a good day. And it'll actually record it, and it'll record the message back to you. And I've left it for some people, and they're like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. And yeah, you can actually record your statement and not type it. So I'll start doing that, Chris, when I can, and for other people. Let me catch this question. Watch question, since I know you have some Rolexes. Do you go to the gray market, or did you use an authorized dealer? I'm on the list for one, but it seemed like it's a long wait. Yeah, I would go gray market. I've bought from a dealer once for one of them, and it took forever. And then I went to the gray market on the other. Now it was new in the box with the real papers. I verified it with Rolex beforehand. So I would go gray market, and sometimes you can get a much better deal. And if you got something worth value on the gray market, like gold, silver, anything worth value, a lot of them will take trade-ins. So I got rid of some silver at that time, and now I'm saving all my silver. I got a ton of silver. And man, loving it that I have the presidents, because melt on that thing, melt alone, just melt alone is 14.5 now with 18 karat gold on the presidents. That's more than I paid for it. New. No, I bought it a long time ago, or got it a long time ago. Nope, mine do not. Mine are the older ones. So no Chinese parts in mine. They have all been verified. But yeah, I mean, hell, if you get an Omega, that's 90% Chinese. Because they're owned by the Swatch Group. Tudor, I will tell you this too. Tudor, do not sleep on Tudor. Pop Doctor, if you're interested, Tudor is making some really, really good watches. They're all Swiss made, no Chinese. And that's the sister company for Rolex, but they make incredible watches. I'm actually thinking about buying a Tudor. Oh yeah, no, I bought mine. Dude, I've had these for, oh man, what did I get it for? I mean, I paid more than 14 for it. Pop, I'm fibbing to you, but, and I got a good deal on it. But like I said, I did also trade some silver in for it too. So maybe after everything was said and done, maybe I did pay 14, like out of pocket. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a long time. I think I got the day date, the regular stainless and gold day date. I think I've had for about 30 years, maybe 35 years. That's the one my wife wears. She's really tall. She's 5'9". So she just wears the day date because it looks too small on me now. So, but yeah, I'm gonna probably grab a Tudor. That Tudor Chrono is pretty sweet. The white panda, or the reverse panda, Tudor is pretty awesome. Pop Doctor says, I don't like Tudor's aesthetics. I have a few Omegas and a 2008 Rolex, a couple of Sins and some Christopher Ward. Not in love with Tudor's design. The only thing I don't like about the Tudor is on the links, on the ends, they have those little fake rivets. I'm not crazy about those. That's really the only thing I don't like about the Tudor. But other than that, they're great watches. Oh, heater core ruptured on my truck. Oh, crap. Navy Vet, what year is the truck, and what year and what make is it? And of course, you have to pull the dashboard on pretty much 19 of them. Indy Irish says, I too paid $14.50 for my new Timex. Laugh out loud. No, I get it. And I've got Timex, Citizen, tons of G-Shocks. Matter of fact, I'm giving away 3 watches to 3 of my guys. I went through my watch collection. Now, these aren't expensive watches. I mean, you know, I used to have a thing with big face watches. I mean, those real huge ones. And y'all probably heard of the brand. It's not a great brand, but it's Invicta. And I used to have, when I started collecting way back in the day, I bought a bunch of these Invictas, and they were like 56 millimeter, 58 millimeter. One of my guys is a really big guy. He's about my height, but he's real big, got big hands. And I'm going to give him the Invicta Viper. Another guy's an Invicta dive watch, and another guy's an Invicta dive watch, because I just want to get rid of those watches. So, you know, they do a good job. I really love those guys. So I'm just going to be like, hey, here's some watches if y'all want them. If for some reason they don't want them, I'll give them away on a chat. But I wanted them to have first shot at it. So, because they're my guys. Yeah, heater cores, I've done plenty of them. 06 GMC Sierra 5.3. It was the heater core line from the pump to the firewall. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you'll have to pull the dash, but here's the thing. And a technician will charge you the full pop. But on that truck, you unbolt the passenger side, tilt it out, and you know your oh shit handle that you hang on to on your B pillar or your A pillar, they'll actually pop the dash out, they'll lift it up, they'll put a bungee cord around it and tie it to your oh shit handle, and they can get right under there to access it. So let them know that you know that. So when they say, oh, it's going to be 14 hours worth of labor, say, well, can't you just pull it and hang it on the oh shit handle? And they'll be like, oh shit, you know the trick. So might save you a little bit of labor, but yeah, you're going to have to pop the dash. Yeah, if it's the heater core itself, which I'm sure it is, I mean, depending on the mileage, you know, that's not out of the ordinary. And also on those, the GM does not make the heater core. They're made by a vendor. So you can buy the heater core non-GM and it's going to be fine. Just don't get a China one, because they do have those. They have different grades of them. But it'll be the original vendor who makes them for GM as well. But it's really not, I mean, it's not fun to do. I've done them in the driveway before, but it's not fun to do. 160,000 miles, that's not out of the ordinary. Yeah. Heater cores will take a shit. With all the sediment going through the radiator and stuff, the heater cores do get blocked up. So, not out of the ordinary. And, you know, hell, if it was summertime, you could cap it off. You could cut the hose, put a blank on it, and, you know, you just wouldn't have any heat. So, you know, I know people who have done that. I've even recommended people, hey man, it's summertime. Don't mess, excuse my language, don't mess with it right now. Because they didn't have money, so I get it. But that might not be too painful. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of quick tricks to it, and somebody that's treating you right, they're not gonna gouge you. Hopefully they won't. But I would take it to a reputable shop, not a little, you know, because you don't want your dashboard cracked. And if they don't do it correctly and they go to hang it, they can crack your whole dashboard, and they'll go, oh, it's a 160,000 mile truck, your dashboard's cracked. Yeah, no, I get it, Indy Irish. Yeah, depending on where you are, you do not want to freeze to death. I totally understand. Rich B says, how often do you like to change coolant? Depends on the vehicle. You know, and if it's yellow or green, there's different types of coolant. Some you can go, you know, 60,000 miles. Some you can go 100,000 miles, but I always check. I'll take the cap, I'll take a sample, pull it. I can now check with my fingers. I can tell how it is in the smell. If it smells still concentrated, it's usually good. If it smells more watery, kind of weak, and there's no slick to it, you know, then I'll flush it. Oh, also, this is just me. This is just me when they say you need a power coolant flush. Flush. I don't recommend flushes. And the reason being is you can take everything apart, you can freaking stick a water hose in there and run the vehicle, and that can flush it. Dude, when you add those chemicals and all that stuff with the machine to high power flush it, you're putting more strain on your heater core, more strain on your water pump seals. It's adding pressure, a lot more pressure than is your normal running pressure. So I don't really recommend flushes, power flushes. Not a big proponent with that. Orange deck's cool on my truck, yeah. And that, I mean, that's a good coolant. And a lot of that is you can add the orange to the green in an emergency situation and you're still fine. You're not going to really cross contaminate the system. But you don't want to run green, like just straight green. But yeah, I mean, I just, flush the radiator as normal, get the sediment out, and then seal everything back up, and then fill it as needed, and then burp it. You got to burp it. You don't want air in your line. Thank you, Pop Doctor. I appreciate you, buddy. Toyota Highlander, great vehicle. Great vehicle. But changing the water pump on those, you got to pull the freaking engine. They're a pain in the ass. Yeah, you need the defrost in Texas. That's true. Yep. Yes, you do. Well, it's about 8:06. If y'all got any questions or comments or want some more tips on vehicles or whatever, you can ask away. They did run the ZR1 or the ZR1X Corvette, and it set some really good times. They ran it in the straightaway. You can go and check it out. They posted it, but the GM let us know the runs. But there's a video on it from General Motors, but that thing's fast, very, very fast. So the new TRX truck, the supercharged, the true SRT truck should be back in production, or it's in production now, but it should be hitting the dealers hopefully within the next month or two. 770 horsepower for a pickup truck. It's pretty awesome. I really want one. I've got a couple of calls into my guys. When they get one, I'm going to go check it out, see what the price point is, my cost, and I really want one. I'm going to tell my wife, man, I want to buy one, but they're not going to be cheap. So we'll see. VW's purple coolant, yep. Look at that. This time I finished it at the end of the chat. Usually I drink it too fast. GM gonna lose the Nuremberg record for this year? I don't know. Thanks, JJ. I appreciate you, buddy. The Ford. Oh, okay. Yeah. Who knows? Like I said, gosh, they've got stuff coming out. There's a couple of new vehicles that are coming. Well, I can't talk about them yet, but they should be coming out probably the middle of this year. So, and they're cool. Especially one of them's really cool. So I think it'll be cool, and everybody will like it. Have a good night, Indie Irish. Theme for me tonight: keep both eyes open using the dot. Yeah, just practice with it, Rich. You can just make sure it's clear, unload it, make sure you're good to go, nobody's in the house, all that stuff. But just, pull it up to your eye line, like I was talking about. Go to a light socket, click, rec, click, go to another part of the house, and just practice with your eyes open. Do that a lot, get used to that, and then do the deer in the headlight if you need to when you're at the range, when you're live firing, and it's going to become natural. It's going to be totally normal. Doesn't matter, Ford has the best driver and maybe only for this year. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but yeah, it's about 8:09, so I'll go ahead and shut it down. If y'all have any questions after the chat, please leave them. I'll be glad to answer them. I don't know every answer in the world, trust me. But I'll, try to answer to the best of my ability or to my opinion, because that's what I try to give is my opinion. Doesn't mean it's the gospel. It's just my opinion. But thank you, Redbird. I appreciate you. You have a great week as well. And we will be finishing up the week getting my ears lowered tomorrow. So I'm gonna get me a haircut and get ready for next week, get a bunch of stuff locked down. And again, I'll be in a hotel all next week. Actually, 2 hotels. We're switching during the week. So, and I'll be spending a lot of time with the guys, dinners, drinks, all that good stuff. We're even doing a team building event. So that should be a really good time. But I will try to do next Wednesday. I can't promise it, but I'm going to try. Um, and if not, maybe I'll do one Friday night or something after they've flown back. We'll do something. We'll figure it out. But I really appreciate all of y'all so much making this happen. Y'all are the reason this does happen. And hopefully I can get that garage knocked out this weekend. That was kind of my plan, to start loading up the toolbox, getting things moved around. So that way, not next week, but the week after, maybe I can do a chat in the garage and it'll be like the first one. Do a live chat, pull out some tools, kind of show you some stuff, and, play around, have a good time. That's kind of why I want to do something out there. Thanks, Lynn Holt. I really appreciate you, brother. But thanks, Navy Vet. And check out that heater core. Make sure somebody does you right. Matter of fact, you can even look it up on YouTube, Navy Vet, and say, what's the approximate hours or labor charge? You can look it up online. What's the approximate labor charge to replace heater core in your '06 Chevy or GMC? I can't remember. And, it'll pretty much give you book time, so you'll have an idea before you go and talk to the technician or the dealership or whomever you're taking it to. So you'll have a good look at it. And, of course, coolant, heater core. If you're going to do that, I would recommend replacing the hoses too. You just don't need a hose to break using the old ass hoses. So get those replaced up too, so that way you won't have any issues. They can flush the radiator at the same time because they've got the system open. Also check the radiator. Sometimes when you do a heater core, you also do the radiator because it builds up a lot of scale in there. So that could be a good time to do it. It's more expense, but better safe than sorry. So, but I appreciate y'all so much. And remember what we're saying now too. If you haven't reached out to someone that you haven't talked to in a long time, please do. Let them know you're caring about them, checking on them, making sure they're good to go. Some people are in bad frames of mind. So we want everybody safe, positive, making sure everything's going. But y'all have a great night. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everybody. Y'all take care.